Casanova. He had turned himself in. He was wanted by the FBI for gang-related charges, including murder, racketeering, drug trafficking, et cetera, et cetera. And he ended up turning himself in to the New York police. And he was one of 17 members, I believe, or 18 members. He was the last one free.
Untouchable family.
Yep, who the FBI agent said they are touchable. Actually, they're not untouchable.
Also, I only know two big black gangs that label themselves untouchable, which is
this
one and the Nicky Barnes. He called himself the Untouchable, and they both got touched.
Yep. So so he got arrested, turned himself in, and he was the last free member of the gang. Everyone else, I think people started getting arrested as of 2 years ago, I believe, from what I read. And then the next day, it was like a trending week for rappers to be arrested. Herbo got arrested for fraud charges. Him and his crew have apparently been using fake credit cards to buy things, or fake IDs and shit to buy things. And then his lawyer revealed a bombshell in court, saying that Herbo needs to be able to travel between Chicago, LA, and New Jersey because his fiance, we all know he's in an open, very public relationship with Taina.
I didn't know they were engaged.
Me neither. Is 4 months pregnant. So that was their reveal, I guess.
The worst way to get a reveal, though.
I'm saying, right? I would
get off on bond on a reveal.
Yeah, I would be so So that was pretty interesting. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on this? Do you think this is going to go good?
Also, I just want to add, A Boogie was also arrested that same week for guns, right?
Yes. There was a fight that broke out after one of his birthday celebrations, and he was arrested, and then he got released, though. He re-celebrated his birthday this week.
Yeah, so rappers are getting caught up. What I have to say about this, I think it just shows that a lot of rappers, cannot maintain the lifestyle that they portray, and so they're doing certain things. And I'm talking more so about Herbo. Mm-hmm. He looked like he was living a lavish lifestyle as a very mid-tier rapper, because Herbo is not like
he's not mainstream.
Yeah, so mid-tier rapper, his lifestyle seems a lot. All right, he's signed to a major. It's not like he's solely independent to where it would make sense. It kind of sucks because he put himself in that situation. I don't want to say he put himself in that situation. Maybe he was just around people doing a lot of stuff, and since they're all under his brand, and he would say maybe in conversation, "Hey, go pay for that. My man's gonna pay for that." It puts him in conspiracy and tied him into that. Maybe, granted, he wasn't trying to touch anything. Maybe it's just he got caught up, but now. Too late anyways. It's like you can't do anything now. You have a newborn, you have a child already, you have a child on the way.
Yep. I think I agree with you in that sense too, because the same thing. I was thinking G Herbo for me. I did always question how do some of these rappers who are not that mainstream, how are they flexing this hard, And then this came out and I was like, oh shit, are they all like this now? Because there's a lot of them that you see and you're just you're not that popping. You're flexing almost as hard as a mainstream rapper like Cardi B is, and you're not on Cardi B's level, so that was very interesting to me as well. And then I was kind of just oh shit, that looks really bad on you if you were you look like a bum.
To be honest, a lot of rappers out here are struggling. If you look at those Spotify, and I think those Spotify year-end reviews are very revealing. Mm-hmm. Are very revealing because, granted, some people might look at those as milestones. Yeah. Or yo, I went from 50,000 to 600,000. That's cool, numbers wise. For people who kind of dig a little deeper, you didn't even make $4,000 off your music on Spotify alone.
Yeah.
Right? So Spotify pays you a $4,000 minimum, maybe a little bit over, 4,000 some change, every $1 million stream, right? Mm-hmm. And Apple Music would pay you about $6,000. Every million stream. So if you got $1 million off Spotify, $1 million off Apple Music, you made about 10,000?
Yeah.
10,000 off your music. You can't we got 10,000 people got 10,000 within the last 5 months. Yeah. Not to say within the last month. 5 months of serve, 10,000. Yeah. A lot of people were hurting. And in the pandemic where there's not much going out. Mm-hmm. So think about that. You made 10,000 last year off streams, and it wasn't a pandemic. people
so you
moving
couldn't
around.
perform. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even this year, and a lot of people make a lot of their money off the back end. That's why a lot of rappers talk about the back end.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do much. So those streams, yeah, you might make like a maybe like 250 million streams, which is granted, that's a lot of money. That's over 100,000, right? Both off Apple Music thing. And I apparently titled it. All right, let me get to my point. The point is, a lot of these rappers are broke.
Yeah,
and they're giving up a lot of that money to, if they're really gang tied, like in the case of Casanova. It said that he was giving up a percentage of his earnings to the gang. To
I didn't know that.
Man, and one. I don't want to say rappers. I don't want to say gangster rappers are extorted by their gang, but like I don't know any other type of words besides extorted. Maybe like giving tithes, like the same way you give tithes to a church, but like this is more so forcibly imposed.
Yeah.
Same with Cass. He was giving up money. That's like I'm gonna say allegedly because Cass a tough guy. He's just how he said, "Yo, I'm a gangster." You know what I mean? But he was giving up tithes to the gang, to people in prison, holding them down. And for him to do that, he was like, he wasn't putting out mad music.
Yeah.
You know, he was doing shows, he was doing like club appearances and walk-ins, but
that's not like,
and then you can't really do much. Like he had the OnlyFans. I'm not quite sure how the OnlyFans are going up for him, but
me neither. And I think, okay, the other thing I was going to ask you is, did you do your Spotify Wrapped or your Apple Music replay or anything?
Yeah, I do. I have Apple Music, so I did the replay, and I got to see the type of yeah.
So who was your top artist? You don't remember?
Nah, but I do know my top album though.
Hey, what was it?
Yeah,
I already do think I know what it's gonna be because I think it was my number 2.
Yeah, that shit was hitting hard, man.
Tory Lane?
Yeah. Yo, I did not know I played it that much until I saw it.
Me neither. My number 1 was Future High Off Life. My number 2 was only 2 plays less than that, and that was Tory Lane's album. Tory Lane's was like 117 and Future's was 119.
I was like, I don't know how I
killed it. And it really just came out 3 months ago. We ran it up that much.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, this guy really did put out some.
I screenshot it and sent it to Snapchat. I was like, yo, I'm feeding Tory, bro.
I was like, yo, I streamed that album that much?
Yeah.
Fuck, bro.
And it literally came out 3 months ago. That's crazy.
Yeah, he hit 1 billion on Spotify. And that's over something million.
Yeah.
If you do the math.
Yeah, I was, when I saw that.
And he's independent, so he got all of that money.
Exactly. Yep. Okay, so anyways, on to the next story.
So pause your point. And I want to bring in this other point, since we're on the roles of just talking about rappers and getting caught up in criminal activity. I think it was popular over the internet maybe like the past 2 days. I think it was 2 days ago. Saturday, was it? Akademiks. I know you don't like Akademiks. I like Akademiks. The world doesn't. A lot of hip hop doesn't like Akademiks, but a lot of there's people who don't like Akademiks. There's people who are indifferent about Akademiks, and there's people who enjoy Akademiks.
Hate him. Yeah.
Yeah. And so over the time, are you on Clubhouse?
No, I'm not on Clubhouse. Are you?
Yeah, I'm on Clubhouse. Yeah.
Oh shit!
I don't want to talk about.
You're not trying to send that invite?
You want the invite?
I'm just joking. You know what? I respect that you don't talk about it. I put out a tweet the other day. Sorry, another side point. Honestly, you know what? Nothing annoys me more than like people older than you even, and like your age, my age, literally talk about Clubhouse every fucking day. They do whatever they can to put it into every fucking conversation. You'll ask someone what the weather is and they're like, I don't know, but so-and-so on Clubhouse said, bro, we get it. You have fucking Clubhouse. Like, just shut up. Like, you look like an idiot. Like, go start a family or something, bro. Why are you sitting here talking about fucking Clubhouse every day? Like, chill.
Yeah. I don't talk about. I don't really talk about because I'm not.
No, I'm like glad that. You don't, because I actually had no idea you had it until you said it just now.
Yeah, the only people who will see it like if they enter in and see like, oh, I'm on it.
What's the big deal about it? Like, celebrities aren't it cool and you can be in these rooms with them? Like,
think about it as a chat room, but like with voices.
Okay.
That's what it is.
There's no video.
No video. So it's like a chat room, but like voices, and you're able to get access to, I guess, more people a lot faster than you would ever think. So people create rooms, title the room like how to make like 80% off your music and be independent and still have say whatever title. And then you ping people to come into the room, and other people see that, you know, people that you're following see that you're in a room and stuff like that. And they might want to drop in and listen to the discussion. They may or may not have moderate, or they will always have moderators, but they may or may not allow people to have the privilege to be speakers.
Do you feel like it's actually a useful tool, or do you feel like it's one of those things where it's just clout?
That's obviously exclusivity right now. I think the exclusivity is actually dying down.
That's what I was gonna say. It's way less exclusive than what like I've seen a couple other people talking about how they have it, and I'm like, bro, you don't even do anything in the industry.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I just that's what I kind of figured too. I feel like it's gonna become one of those things where it's gonna die in a couple months.
Yeah, it's still invite only, but like people are just passing out invites all the time. So
exactly,
people are coming in. Yeah. But like, it's, to be honest, I didn't want it, but my brother sent me on it. He's like, yo, bro, I'm inviting you. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Because my brother on it. No disrespect to your brother, like, but I would say the same thing if it was my sister. My sister doesn't do shit in media. Like, I'd be like, bro, why the fuck?
My brother was like, yo, he sent me the invite. He was like, yo, take it. I'm like,
yeah, like if it was actually helpful, like, and I could actually learn some things to help me career wise, I wouldn't mind being on it. But I kind of feel like it's just one of those things where it's become, it's probably started out that way, but it's slowly more and more just becoming more about who's in what room, and oh my god, to talk about on Twitter, I was in this room tonight with so and so, congratulations. Like,
exactly, that's what it is. I don't really care for it. I was like, I was networking way before the Clubhouse thing, and when I was hearing more about Clubhouse, I was like, I'm touching elbows with like people who did some great things like 10, 15 years ago in like Canada. Like I have their number.
Exactly. It's more purposeful. Sorry, not to cut you off. It's more purposeful, I feel like, building those kind of connections where you're actually meeting the person and able to continue it, because via Clubhouse, like, you could talk to Joe Budden one day, but the next day he's not going to remember who you are.
Exactly. So the reason why I bring up Clubhouse is because 2 days ago, Saturday, Akademiks was newly introduced to Clubhouse, and 21 Savage moderated the room, and it had like other people. Tory Lanez was in the room.
Okay.
Alexis Nadesca was in the room. Meek Mill was in the room, most famously, and the conversation, the back and forth that Akademiks and Meek Mill had was something that sparked a lot of conversations throughout the internet. But the conversation was mainly because Meek Mill and they're beefing.
Yeah,
they're at odds with each other. And Meek Mill is someone that over time, I think a lot of people have gotten. This is just a side point. Over time, I feel like a lot of people have starting to dislike Meek because he doesn't really stand on something, you know? And so that's just my viewpoint on things. So Meek Mill and Akademiks having a back and forth about Akademiks' platform, about how he says he's instigating beefs, and now he's putting things on the internet, and these are getting people, young bulls, locked up and people killed. And a lot of people were saying, you can't put the onus on Akademiks to put something that's already on the internet and just put on his Instagram. How is he instigating something that's already out there? If it takes another man to motivate you to do something destructive to someone else, you do not have the power over your own self, right? And that's my point. And then, Akademiks was like, has some onus. Is like, all right, I might do certain things, but I do block a lot of things. I'm not trying to purposely be vindictive or incite crimes and violence. He says that he turns down a lot of things, but don't necessarily put the onus on him as being the guy who is the reason why hip hop is in shambles, or why he got young people trying to do crazy, destructive things for clout to be on a page. That's not necessarily Akademiks' fault. And Meek Mill was kind of like, was trying to take the responsibility away from the rappers that are obviously doing criminal activities and blame them on something. And so I just got to myself, I was like, why do rappers like to not take responsibilities for their own actions and always blame someone else? And I think this is like the common conversation that a lot of people have. And I feel like the conversation changes depending on who the scapegoat is, or who people are trying to place blame on. Because I'm gonna finish my point right now. In duality, people would say, hey, these rappers are influencing kids to do drugs. And then the response would always be, not always be, but large majority be, it's not the rapper's responsibility to do certain things. The kids should have parents. So why would you put the onus on kids doing drugs on these rappers? But now to turn around and say, Akademiks is the reason why people are getting locked up, it doesn't make sense. So where is the line? It's like, who is responsible, or who is going to put the responsibility on who does the action? Yeah. I would like to hear your thoughts on this.
I kind of agree with you, because I've always kind of been the person who, like, yeah, I get it. Celebrities are like, will argue that they automatically become these role models once they hit a certain level, and like kids will look up to them and they have to watch what they do. But at the same time, I've always never agreed with that, because I'm like, bro, like, you can look up to celebrities as much as you want, but at the end of the day, like, my parents weren't letting me listen to fucking like 50 Cent Candy Shop. I remember I got so much shit for listening to that when I was a kid, and that's only because my cousins were listening to it, and that's why I got in trouble for it. Like, like, my parents were making me listen to like shit like Hillary Duff, not making me, but like that's what they allowed me to listen to. Hillary Duff and Avril Lavigne. Even Avril Lavigne, I wasn't allowed to go to her concert when she came, but I was allowed to go to Hillary Duff. Like, so I feel like at the same time, yeah, like, cool, you could say they're role models, but at the same time, it also comes down to parenting and what you're letting your kid consume in the media, and how they're, like what are you leading them on to perceive as real and worthy and things like that, So yeah, I agree with you on that front as well. And yeah, it makes sense in the sense that like they don't want to accept responsibility for their own actions in a way by constantly trying to push the blame onto somebody else. And it's like, yeah, I can see the side of where it's like, oh, Akademiks is instigating, because a lot of people will argue that with Six Buzz as well. And they're like, oh, Six Buzz will post things, like if we're going to bring this to Toronto lens and be like, Six Buzz will post things just to instigate problems, or like, things like that. And sometimes I see it. I think when you're somebody like Akademiks and that's your job, I don't disagree. Like, you're allowed to post what you want, because people obviously supported you for that reason. I think what makes the biggest difference, in my opinion, is what caption you're putting. If you're posting a caption that's instigating it, fine. If you're just posting it to say, this happened here on this day, like, that's it, then cool, whatever. Like, people followed you for that content. That's literally your job now. You got paid for it. You got a job at Complex for it. Like, you know what I mean? So that's just my opinion on it. But
I do think that in the world of Akademiks, when it comes to that though, I think that the reason why Shade Room, Boss Up, E.T., TMZ,
it's because they're all teams and not one person.
Exactly. And they don't have one name. That's why if in hip hop, the two people who get the most hate is Vlad.
Oh, okay.
Vlad and DJ Akademiks. Because you know why? They named themselves after the stuff that they're putting out. So they have now a personal tie to it.
Is that why you stopped Apollo for the People? Your name was directly tied to it.
It was directly tied to it, man. And I realized that when your name is directly tied to something, it makes you personally involved with it. Because now that when people say, I don't fuck with DJ Vlad, I don't fuck with Akademiks, they're saying, yo, you don't fuck with them and their platform.
Yeah.
It's like, think about it. Like, if I'm like, Cardi B and I say, I don't like TMZ, I don't like TMZ. But now if I say I don't like Harvey Levin, I don't like him.
Yeah.
That is different.
Exactly. No, I agree.
Not liking the Harvey Levin will probably stop TMZ from posting him. Not liking TMZ will probably get them to continue to post you, but more negative things about you.
Yeah, exactly.